Hi guys, my name's Becca and welcome to my YouTube channel. I was on a book buying ban and now I'm not because me and my girlfriend were having a date night and we just happened to be in town and I was like, oh, let's go to Waterstones. And I intended not to buy anything. We walked into Waterstones, turns out it'd been refurbished since last time I'd been there. It was 2 floors of pure joy, and then I ended up buying like 7 books, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to my bank account, it definitely is. So yeah, let's dive right in and see what I bought. Okay, I'm just picking these out randomly, so it will be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. The first book that I got is The Deacon House Murders. I don't know a lot about this book. It says the Japanese cult classic mystery. And on the back it says, oh, Japanese bestseller inspired by Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. So that sounds really interesting because I haven't actually read many of Agatha Christie's books. I think I tried to when I was younger and I think it was above my sort of level, but I would like to get back into it. And it says, the lonely rock-bound island of Tsushima is notorious as the site of a series of bloody unsolved murders. Some even say it's haunted. One thing's for sure, it is a perfect destination for the K University Mystery Club's trip. When the first club member turns up dead, the remaining amateur sleuths realise they will need all of their murder mystery expertise to get off the island alive. As the party are picked off one by one, the survivors grow desperate and paranoid, turning on each other. Will anyone be able to untangle the murderer's fiendish plan before it's too late? So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that my girlfriend picked this one up, but I'm super stoked to actually steal this from her and read it myself. So yeah, that's the first book we picked up. The next book we picked up, and just as a pre-warning, I don't think it's going to be a literary masterpiece, but I could be wrong. It's called The Windsor Knot. I picked this up, I don't even think I got the offer on it, which was a mistake, but honestly I picked it up just because it seemed like, honestly, like funny. So on the blurb it says, on a perfect spring morning at Windsor Castle, Queen Elizabeth II will enjoy a cup of tea, carry out her royal duties and solve a murder. It just seemed really unique, I guess is the word. Me and my girlfriend actually were laughing about this when we first saw it on the table, and then I put it back, had no intention of buying it, and I couldn't stop thinking about this book for the rest of the Waterstones trip. So on our way out, I went back and picked it up because I'm just kind of really quite excited to read this. I love a good well, it's not gonna be a thriller. I love a good murder mystery. Can't say I'm a royalist, but I do find it kind of funny when things involve the Queen. So yeah. Now the next book I picked up, I actually mentioned, I don't know if it's in a video coming out soon or whether I've already gonna put it out at this point, but it's Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Now, don't shoot me for this, I have never read a Stephen King book. This is actually the first Stephen King book I've ever owned. And that's because notoriously I'm a massive wuss. And so the only thing I was really aware of Stephen King is It, the book It. And first off, 1,000 odd pages, no thank you. And second off, I knew about the film mainly, and when it first came out, and I must have been fairly youngish, I think, maybe 16 or so, everyone was saying it was sort of like the scariest film they've ever watched, and so I went about to have another 6 months of sleepless nights. So I gave that one a miss. But then I saw the Pet Sematary came out, and that has a more of a, as in the film, and that has a more sort of a plot that I would kind of enjoy, I think, compared to sort of any of the other books that I've heard of him. And compared to like The Shining and stuff, it didn't seem as scary from what I've heard. I could be wrong though, like I said, I haven't read it or seen the film. And this book actually was bought because, and this will be mentioned in another video whether it's been out or not, I read The Taking of Annie Thorne, and a lot of people were making parallels to Stephen King's work and also to Pet Sematary. So I thought, let's not read the knockoff, which is The Taking of Annie Thorne, let's read the original, which is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. So I picked it up. I don't even think I need to read the blurb on this one because probably everyone knows what it's about. I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy it, and it seems, so it's like just over 400 pages, 430 pages in this edition, and so I feel like it's a good Stephen King novel to sort of start on because it's not too long, because I know Exhibit A is It, which is over 1,000 pages, and I wasn't about to be starting with that. And last thing about this book, I've actually been watching a lot of the booktuber Noelle Gallagher, and she raves about Stephen King all the time. So she actually piqued my interest on Stephen King and was a huge influence in why I picked this one up. So yeah, another book I'm really excited to read. Okay, the next book I picked up is, I believe, a young adult book. It could also be an adult book, I really don't know, because it was on a shelf for Pride Month. So loads of LGBTQ plus stories, and so this was on there, but I'm pretty sure there was a few sort of adult mixed in with middle grade and young adult. So it's called Love is for Losers. Again, I don't know what this one's about. I should really start getting to grips with what the story's about before I pick up these books and spend like my whole bank account on these books, but sometimes better to go in blind. So it says Phoebe Davis has opinions, most of all that love is for losers, but then she meets Emma and now she doesn't know what to think. A hilarious life-affirming novel about all the big stuff: love, sex, death, family, heartbreak, kittens, and kisses that turn the whole world upside down. So from that blurb, I would say it's a young adult. Yeah, so I really picked up for the girls loving girls romance, and I don't actually have many books about girls loving girls. I honestly think that's not a me problem. I think that's a industry problem. I think I have, off the top of my head, I can think of like 3. So yeah, so I'm excited to add to that collection. Okay, the next book I bought is My Sister the Serial Killer. I've seen so many people raving about this book. Again, didn't really know what it was before I picked it up, and I've seen it a few times actually, and I wasn't too keen on picking it up. I feel like I've read the blurb, and then maybe it was a dream or something, because when I actually read the blurb, when I came and actually picked it up, it appealed to me so much more when I actually did buy it. So maybe I dreamt what the blurb was, I'm not sure. Yeah, from what I kind of knew when I first picked this up, is that it was based around this girl and she cleans up her sister's crime scenes. And that's literally, again, all I knew. But sounds really interesting, and kind of weirdly, it's a different kind of read for me, because normally when people get murdered in books, I don't know who did it, and that's the whole point of the book. That's the whole premise. So this one, you know who murdered the people, and so I'm interested to sort of have a different sort of take on it, because normally the whole book is about finding out who murdered these people. So yeah, I'm really interested to read this book. It is quite a short book. It's got 223 pages, which potentially would be the shortest book I've read this year. So yeah, quick read, quite excited about it. So the next book is In at the Deep End. Again, not a clue what it's about. I think it's LGBTQ+, but oh yeah, from looking at the back, it seems like the main character is a bisexual woman, and it seems sort of just like a comedy, possibly a rom-com. Yeah, she's just sort of a bisexual, I think, woman looking for love, so that should be quite good. Again, like I said, I'm trying to sort of get my LGBTQ+ stories up, so yeah, I'm excited to read this. The next book is Firewatching by Russ Thomas. Again, I feel like I've said this about every book. I have no clue what it's about. I don't even know why I buy these books. I think I see the cover and I go, ooh, shiny, like a magpie. And then they're in my house and I've spent 50 quid on all of the books. First off, I picked the cover because that is a sick cover. So yeah, again, like I said, don't really know, but from the back, it says, a body is found bricked into the walls of a house. From the state of the hands, it's clear he was buried alive, that he had tried to claw his way out before he died. The victim is quickly linked to an old missing persons case, and DS Adam Tyler is called. But Tyler discovers he has a connection to the case that hopelessly compromises him. With a brutal and sadistic murders to unpick, Tyler must move carefully to discover the truth without destroying the case or himself. Meanwhile, someone in the city knows exactly what happened to the body. Someone who is watching Adam closely, someone with an unhealthy affinity with fire, which explains this. So yeah, I feel like I've mentioned quite a lot. I love a good murder mystery. I like a good sort of thriller, detective thriller. So yeah, this is right up my street. I'm really excited to read this one, actually. I completely forgot I even owned it, but I think it's going to be really good. And finally, the last book that actually my girlfriend bought me, and it's The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osmond. And I kept seeing this around in the hardcover version, and personally, I'm not a big fan of hardcovers. So that's, yeah, so I was waiting for it to come out in the paperback, which it now has. And also, if you don't really like reading hardcovers and then you have to pay like double the price for them, it's like just adding insult to injury. So I try where I can, if I'm not super excited about the book, to wait for it to come out in paperback. So this one is about these people in a retirement home, and they have the Thursday Murder Club where they meet up presumably on a Thursday, and they sort of investigate unsolved murders just to pass the time, I guess. And it seems like someone gets murdered. It says on their doorstep, so I don't know if it's in the retirement home or whatnot, but so someone gets murdered and they start to investigate it, and it says they may be pushing 80, but they still have a few tricks up their sleeve. So I think sort of it looks like it's just gonna be a kind of a fun, quirky sort of story, and I really love that it takes place in a retirement home and it's sort of got these almost 80-year-old characters. I think that's super fun and quite unique to sort of murder mysteries, and I really love that premise. And honestly, I have fond memories of watching Pointless at the tender age of 14, with Richard Osman in his little chair telling all the facts. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really good one. I said for so long that I wanted this book, but then things just kept sort of popping up that I wanted more, so then I kept buying that, and then eventually my girlfriend bought this for me, which was really lovely of her. And luckily it had come out in paperback because, like I said, not a fan of hardcovers. So yeah, that seems to be all of the books that I have recently bought. I don't even want to look at the RRP prices on the back because I did pay full price for them. I could get a lot more books if I bought from somewhere like Amazon or sort of online. But I know that them places are very problematic, and also on top of that, if that wasn't enough of a reason, which it definitely is, their books often come in quite a bad condition even when they're classed as new, and I just think it's really important to support high street bookshops, especially if you have any independent bookshops near you. Definitely try and support them. I don't have any of them near me, so the next best thing is Waterstones, which is not an independent bookstore but is still a high street bookstore, and I believe they were struggling fairly recently or a few years back. So I do, even though it kind of cost me a bit more, I do try and support them. So yeah, going off this stack of books, if you have any books that you think I would really enjoy, let me know, because I'm always looking for a new read. Like I said, I can't resist a good little book buy. Like this video if you liked it, and please subscribe if you feel like it. It would really help me out. I guess that's all from me. I'll see you next week. Bye!